when it comes to matters to do with early childhood development, maternal and childhood health, please look no further. Here at Church of Uganda Family TV, we bring you the very best in those particular aspects. And this program is brought to you by Makerere University School of Public Health. This is Heath Pot, and Edwin Austin Mukalazi is my name, your host of this show. It is another beautiful evening, and I believe God has kept you well. The fact that you can listen to this voice and you can see this image. Yeah, and as we are heading to our weekend, of course, we know it's a new month and we are all excited. Together here as Church of Uganda Family TV, we are with you, and we want to take you through a very important topic the whole of this month. And I believe parents out there will be blessed. We want to talk about nutrition. Nutrition basically in children. So our task the whole of this month will be bringing you the very best of the episodes talking about nutrition in children. Therefore, even as children are going back to school, even as mothers are preparing to send their children back to school or prepare them to go to school every day for those little ones, please watch Heath Pot the whole of this month. I believe it will be a blessing. And today we are blessed to have Christine Nwahereza, who is a public health nutritionist, going to take us through a very important topic that you shouldn't miss. But I'll let her greet us and then we shall drag into the topic. Christine, you're most welcome to today's Health Pod. It is a cool evening and people have been waiting to see what we have for them. Kindly greet them. Yes.
I'm so pleased to be here.
Yeah.
Good evening, viewers. I'm so happy that we are here today and we are going to talk about childhood obesity.
Exactly. So, when you talk about obesity, very many people have a misinterpretation, a misconception of obesity. People think obesity is gauged by the size of the body mass of the baby. So Christine is here to answer all these questions that you as a parent would be having, especially when it comes to obesity in children. So Christine, we start with the definition of obesity. What is obesity to a layman's
person? Okay, thank you, Edwin. So when we talk of obesity, we are looking at excessive body fat or accumulation of body fat that is too much. Usually people don't differentiate it between overweight. Don't differentiate between overweight and obesity.
Exactly. That is now what we want you to answer. We want you to draw the difference between overweight and obesity.
Okay. Thank you. So when we talk of obesity, it's when someone has been overweight and they continue becoming more overweight. And usually in children, we look at someone's weight, we compare it with their age. If you are a parent out there and we usually get the health child card, usually there are graphs. I think next time we'll bring that card.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, there are graphs. When you plot, you weigh your child's weight, you compare it with the graph on the card. It should be within the normal curve. If it goes beyond 3, then that child is obese.
Yeah, so according to what you've explained, it's like obesity is a result of overweight. When the overweight accumulates, then you become obese.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not something that happens in one day. It's continuous. As the child keeps on putting on weight, too much weight, they eventually become obese.
I thought as African parents that if you give your child bodybuilding foods and then they grow fatter and fatter and fatter, the more they grow fatter is the more you win prestige before people. They'll of course say you feed your child very well. such things.
That's true.
Mm.
It's one, maybe we will come to that. But as you've said, here in Africa, actually in Uganda as well, people believe when you're fat, you're more healthy.
Exactly, you're
But-
healthy, you're rich, you're well off.
Yeah, but that's not the case. Because the more you grow more fat, the more you accumulate this fat in your body,
Okay.
the more it puts you at a risk of developing other diseases. And it has been noted that once your child is obese in childhood, they are likely to continue to be obese even when they are adults, and it predisposes them to different other health conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and more like.
Okay, although this is not part of what you're looking, but I think it is also important that I ask you at this point: is it possible that a child can have such complications like diabetes and hypertension and that?
Yes, it's coming.
As
up.
early as 2 years or 1 year?
I've not seen those cases, but they are coming up. I've seen people who are becoming diabetic as early as 4, as early as 5, or even after 5. Yeah.
Well, I think let's talk about them. You know, sometimes when you talk about these things, people think they're not serious, especially if when they look into the community. I think during the COVID pandemic, each time they were reading cases, someone, I've never seen a COVID patient in our community. So all those are lies. Now when you talk about obesity, people might not know how serious this is, not until we tell them the magnitude. So let us talk about the magnitude of obesity. We'll start with Uganda before we go to the other countries. Let's start with Uganda.
Actually, obesity is becoming an increasing problem in schools, especially in the urban settings. Yeah, and when we look at the statistics of Uganda now, overweight and obesity go to 5.0%, meaning that almost in every 100, we'll find 5 children who are obese or overweight, or whose weight is beyond their age.
Is this increasing or reducing?
It's increasing.
So it is a threat
It's a
to
threat,
us as a nation.
big threat. Because as it increases, the risks increase and the country is spending more money. Actually, even as the parents, when you have a child who is at risk, then you're spending more money in treatment than you would spend.
But we
in
also
other
look at a
things.
generation that will miss out there, because when these children now grow up, when they are unable to do some of the things, then there is a wasted generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to come up to. That with these children, as they grow obese, they are likely to die at a very young age. So we have lost their useful age.
So that is
when
how
they
we
will be more productive.
That is how we miss our MPs.
Exactly.
And our future president might be
in among those ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Very true.
So
and it's not only here in Uganda. Globally, about 39 million children, according to the World Health Organization statistics, 39 million are now overweight, either overweight or obese.
Less by 6 million to get the population of Uganda.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's how big this has been. And it started from the developed countries, but now it has come here in Africa. Yeah.
So we look at a parent out there who says, for me I don't see any case of obesity in our community. Yes, it might not be in your community, but don't initiate it. Let it not start with you, so that people will say, we saw it with so-and-so's child.
And actually, Edwin, in Uganda today, it's very hard to say that you've not noticed an obese child. As you move either from one community, or it might not be in this community, but in your neighboring community, at least you will notice one and say, what happened to this child? That they cannot walk, they can hardly walk to wherever they are going.
They walk from one edge of this studio to the extreme end, and then it's...
exactly. They start telling you, Mommy, I can't walk these stairs. I'm feeling tired. Yeah.
So as nutritionists and as people in the health fraternity, what is the biggest threat when we see these numbers accumulating and accumulating?
The biggest threat is that it is increased. When you say the biggest threat.
Yes, as to you, when you look, you sit back and you see these cases surfacing every now and then. Because I look at a situation when maybe in January you had 4 mothers with these cases, and by May you have 19 mothers coming with such issues. How are you not threatened by these numbers?
Of course, we are threatened. We are threatened, and we are looking at a big pandemic coming up, where we have non-communicable diseases coming up. When I talk of non-communicable diseases, now I'm referring to these diseases that you don't, when I sit next to you, I don't get it. It comes from you as a person, from your lifestyle. Yeah, so we are looking at these diseases coming up. We are looking at a big threat coming up, a big problem coming up. Because imagine if we have children who are under 5 being obese, what will happen to them when they are 15, when they are 20, and we don't even know if they will be able to grow up to 30 or 40 years.
Sure. And are you prepared for this?
Yes, we are prepared, and that's why we have such programs to come here and let our parents know that this is becoming a challenge. We need to take caution. Yeah.
So, very importantly, to our mother out there, because these days there are a lot of junks. Parents are feeding their children on ice cream than food. Very many children, Mommy, I want chips, Mommy, I want this. And maybe they don't know. Okay, I might also be speaking from a layman's point of view, thinking that this could be one of the risks, the risk factors. But then, let us drag now into the causes of this, because I'm now speaking to a parent there who is now coming to open up their mind to say, this might be a threat now.
Okay, so when we talk of obesity and we want to know what is causing it, why is it increasing?
Yes.
And especially in the urban settings. We want to look at the lives, majorly it's about the lifestyle we are giving to our children. One of their causes is the calories. You're giving your child a lot of calories. When I talk of calories, I'm talking about the energy. When we eat food, it is converted into energy. And this energy is being used by our body to do other activities we need. So when we talk of that, if you give your body a lot of energy and it's not going to use it, then it will use what it can and keep some as a it keeps some as a reserve, in case you don't feed it anymore. So every day, if you're giving someone too much energy or calories, that means at the end of the day, this reserve which has been kept will accumulate, and it is usually kept in form of fat. So this is the fat that usually accumulates in the body, and you find someone is gaining weight every day.
You've talked about energy, and you've talked about parents feeding their children with calories. But when you talk about calories, someone might not know which foods they give to their children that that produce the calories.
So when we talk of calories, actually every food we eat will get some energy. But now it will depend on which food. If you're taking a lot of sugars or other sugary drinks,
and there are very many on the market.
Yeah, we can talk of sodas, we can talk of the biscuits or any other snack that have a lot of glucose. It will give the body too much energy compared to what you would get if you have eaten some matoke or some potato. Because when you're eating a sweet potato, you cannot eat more than 2. Yeah. But when you're taking a soda, you can even take 3 bottles.
And on weddings or on feasts, people will always ask for more. People want to take more and more, so someone can take 4 bottles.
Exactly.
Well, Christine, at that very point, let us take a short commercial break, and then when we come back, we shall continue with the causes of obesity in children. You shouldn't miss the second part of this program.